In a remote African village surrounded by vast savannas and towering mountains, there lived a young boy named Niafa. From the moment of his birth, Niafa was considered different. Born with a prominent birthmark on his face, some villagers believed it was a curse, while others viewed it as a sign of bad luck. Whispers followed him wherever he went, and children mocked him openly. Despite the ridicule, Niafa's heart remained kind and humble. He often spent his days tending to the sheep on the outskirts of the village, finding solace in nature and talking to God under the shade of a great baobab tree. One day, as he sat alone, he prayed, "Lord, why did you make me like this? I feel so small and unwanted. Show me your purpose for my life." As if in response, a warm breeze swept through the tree, and Niafa felt a peace he couldn't explain. He remembered the words his mother often recited from the scriptures. "The stone the builders rejected has become the cornerstone." Psalm 118:22. He held on to those words, not fully understanding their meaning, but believing they were meant for him. A village in trouble. One fateful year, the village faced a dire threat. A group of raiders from a distant land began plundering nearby communities, stealing livestock and burning homes. Fear gripped Niafa's village, and the elders called for a plan to defend themselves. Warriors were assembled, but no one knew how to outsmart the raiders, who were cunning and ruthless. One night, as the villagers gathered in fear, Niafa stood up and said, "I may be young and unwanted, but God has given me a plan." The villagers laughed and scoffed. "What can you do, Niafa? You can barely stand up to children, let alone raiders." But Niafa remained undeterred. He explained his idea. "We can use the narrow valley by the river to our advantage. The raiders will have to pass through it to enter the village. We can set traps and ambush them when they least expect it." Reluctantly, the elders agreed, having no better plan. Over the next few days, Niafa worked tirelessly, leading the preparations. Despite his youth, he displayed wisdom and courage far beyond his years. The day of reckoning. When the raiders finally arrived, they were met with chaos. Niafa's traps confused and disoriented them, and the villagers, hiding in strategic positions, launched their ambush. The raiders, overwhelmed and unprepared, fled in defeat. The village erupted in celebration, and the elders praised Niafa for his bravery and wisdom. But Niafa, instead of basking in the glory, knelt down and prayed, "Thank you, Lord, for using me, even when no one believed in me." From outcast to hero. From that day on, Niafa was no longer seen as an outcast. He became a symbol of hope and resilience, reminding the villagers of God's ability to use the least likely among us to accomplish great things. He often shared the lessons he learned through his journey. God uses the rejected. Just as David was overlooked by his family but chosen by God to be king, so too does God see potential in those the world dismisses. God chose the weak things of the world to shame the strong. 1 Corinthians 1, verse 27. Humility brings greatness. Niafa's heart remained humble even after his victory. Humble yourselves before the Lord, and he will lift you up. James 4:10. Faith over fear. When everyone doubted, Niafa trusted in God's purpose for his life. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. Joshua 1:9. Niafa's story was passed down for generations as a testament to God's power to transform outcasts into heroes, reminding all who heard it that no one is too small for God's plans. The moral of the story is that no matter how rejected or insignificant you may feel, God sees your worth and has a plan for your life. Trust Him, remain humble, and let your faith guide you to greatness.